Welcome back to my channel, The Coins World. Today we are going to explore the detailed history and fascinating story of the Philippine 25 Sentimo coin from 1996. This little coin may seem ordinary at first glance, but once you dive into its background, design, and significance, you realize that it is not just currency but also a piece of history, culture, and national pride. So let's begin this journey into the life of the 1996 Philippine 25 Sentimo coin. The 25 Sentimo coin of 1996 was part of the Flora and Fauna series, which ran from 1983 until 1994, but later transitioned into the improved Flora and Fauna series that lasted until the early 2000s. This series was particularly important because it combined the beauty of the Philippines' rich biodiversity with national heroes, making every coin a lesson in history and heritage. On the obverse side of the 25 Sentimo 1996, you'll see Juan Luna, one of the most celebrated Filipino painters and revolutionaries. He was not only a genius in the arts but also played a significant role in awakening Filipino nationalism through his works. His presence on the coin symbolizes creativity, patriotism, and the intellectual awakening of the Filipino spirit during the late 19th century. The reverse side features the Philippine tamaro, a small and rare species of water buffalo endemic to Mindoro. The tamaro represents resilience, strength, and the need for conservation as it has been classified as an endangered species. By placing it on the coin, the government raised awareness about protecting the environment and preserving national treasures. The year 1996 was itself a very interesting time for the Philippines. The country was experiencing political changes, economic reforms, and a growing push toward modernization. The 25 Sentimo coin minted during this time serves as a snapshot of an era when the nation was balancing tradition with progress. The coin was struck in aluminum bronze, which gave it a bright golden color, making it stand out from lower denominations. It weighed around 4 grams and had a diameter of 20 millimeters. Though small in size, it was a widely circulated coin that played a vital role in everyday trade, especially for small purchases such as jeepney fares, candies, and snacks. If you think about it, this coin has traveled through thousands of hands, perhaps from a jeepney driver to a student, from a street vendor to a mother buying rice, from a child saving in a piggy bank to a collector preserving history. Each coin tells countless untold stories of ordinary Filipinos by preserving coins like the 25 Sentimo 1996. Collectors are not only keeping pieces of metal, but also preserving the soul of a nation. It stands as proof of how money is intertwined with history, identity, and memory. Imagine if one coin could speak. It would tell tales of countless transactions, moments of joy, hardship, and survival. The 25 Sentimo 1996 is such a witness, carrying. The reverse side features the Philippine tamaro, a small and rare species of water buffalo endemic to Mindoro. The tamaro represents resilience, strength, and the need for conservation, as it has been classified as an endangered species. By placing it on the coin, the government raised awareness about protecting the environment and preserving national treasures. The year 1996 was itself a very interesting time for the Philippines. The country was experiencing political changes, economic reforms, and a growing push toward modernization. The 25 Sentimo coin minted during this time serves as a snapshot of an era when the nation was balancing tradition with progress. The coin was struck in aluminum bronze, which gave it a bright golden color, making it stand out from lower denominations. It weighed around 4 grams and had a diameter of 20 millimeters. Though small in size, it was a widely circulated coin that played a vital role in everyday trade, especially for small purchases such as jeepney fares, candies, and snacks. What makes the 25 Sentimo 1996 truly fascinating is how it ties together different elements of Filipino identity. Juan Luna's portrait connects us with history and culture, while the tamaro emphasizes the natural wealth of the Philippines. Together, they remind us that coins are not just money, they are cultural storytellers. For many Filipinos who grew up in the 1990s, this coin brings back memories of school days, sari-sari stores, and simple joys when 25 centavos could buy a piece of candy or contribute to a small merienda. It is a nostalgic piece of history that reflects everyday life during that decade. Numismatically speaking, the 25 Sentimo 1996 is considered common, but collectors value it for its design and historical context. Coins in uncirculated or mint condition are often sought after, and even circulated ones are kept as part of complete Flora and Fauna sets. In terms of rarity, there are no major errors or varieties widely known for the 1996 issue, but like all coins, minting anomalies such as misstrikes, off-center strikes, or doubling can drastically increase its value in the collector's market. The inclusion of Juan Luna on this coin is particularly important. Luna was best known for his masterpiece, Spoliarium, which won international recognition in Madrid. His art reflected the struggles and aspirations of Filipinos during the Spanish colonial period. By featuring him, the coin not only honored a national hero but also reminded every citizen who used it about the fight for freedom and identity. Meanwhile, the tamara is equally symbolic. By 1996, the tamara was already critically endangered. The coin thus served as a silent campaign to conserve wildlife, reminding Filipinos that natural heritage is as valuable as cultural heritage. Collectors today see the 25 Sentimo 1996 as more than just spare change. It is part of a generation of coins that bridged the transition. Today, we take a deep dive into the Philippine 25 Sentimo coin from 1971, a small yet powerful artifact that tells the story of a nation in transition. Many people may see it as just a simple piece of change, but this coin carries layers of history, artistry, and national identity that make it a fascinating part of Philippine numismatics. The 25 Sentimo 1971 coin belongs to the Filipino series, which was introduced in 1967. This was the first full series of coins to bear Filipino inscriptions rather than English, marking a strong declaration of cultural independence and identity. By the time the 25 Sentimo of 1971 entered circulation, it had already become a symbol of pride for the country. On its obverse side, the coin proudly displays the portrait of Juan Luna, one of the greatest Filipino painters, intellectuals, and revolutionaries. His face on the coin is not just a reminder of his artistic achievements but also his dedication to the cause of nationalism. Luna's Spoliarium, which won a gold medal in Madrid, became a metaphor for the Filipino struggle under colonial rule. The reverse side of the 25 Sentimo 1971 bears the official seal of the Republic of the Philippines. It includes the sun, stars, eagle, and lion, representing both local identity and historical influences from Spain and the United States. This design balanced heritage with sovereignty, reminding citizens of the Philippines' resilience as a free republic. Struck in nickel brass, the coin's composition was meant to give durability, allowing it to withstand decades of circulation. Its golden tone stood out among smaller denominations, giving it a distinct visual presence in the hands of everyday Filipinos. When the 25 Sentimo 1971 was released, it carried a reasonable purchasing power. During that period, it could buy small snacks, candies, or part of public transportation fares, though it seems minor today. At the time, it was a vital coin in daily transactions. The early 1970s in the Philippines were marked by political and economic shifts. President Ferdinand Marcos had already declared his vision for a new society, and by 1972, martial law would reshape the country. The 1971 25 Sentimo, therefore, represents the calm before a storm, a coin minted at the edge of a critical turning point in history. For older Filipinos, it brings nostalgia of a time when a few Sentimo coins could still purchase meaningful goods. For younger generations, it offers a glimpse into the economic realities of the past. In classrooms today, this coin is often used as a historical teaching tool, reminding students of how money reflects national stories. Its presence bridges generations and fosters an appreciation of heritage. The coin's artistry also deserves admiration. Luna's portrait is not merely functional, it is expressive, dignified, and timeless. This makes the 25 Sentimo 1971 as much a miniature artwork as it is currency. Coins world. Today, we are going to explore the Philippine 25 Sentimo coin from 1979, a small yet powerful piece of history that holds more stories than its modest size may suggest. Many collectors overlook the 25 Sentimo, but when we start peeling back its layers of history, design, and symbolism, you'll see why this coin deserves attention. Let's take a long journey into its past and significance. The 25 Sentimo of 1979 was part of the Flora and Fauna series, which represented a new chapter in Philippine coinage. Introduced during the 1970s, this series aimed to showcase the nation's natural heritage, linking its currency not just to its economic identity, but also to its rich biodiversity. Unlike the earlier English series, these coins carried Filipino inscriptions and local designs that felt closer to the national soul. On the obverse side of the coin, you'll find the image of Juan Luna, one of the Philippines' most celebrated painters, whose masterpiece Spoliarium remains a symbol of Filipino talent and cultural pride. Luna was not only an artist but also a nationalist, deeply involved in the intellectual and political movements of his time. By placing his image on the coin, the government paid tribute to both his creative genius and his patriotic spirit. The reverse side is equally fascinating. It displays the denomination 25 centimo, along with the image of the Philippine coat of arms. This symbol ties the coin to the nation's sovereignty, independence, and enduring identity. The coat of arms reflects both Spanish colonial heritage and the American period, while also standing for the Republic of the Philippines as a free nation. Minted in copper nickel, the 25 centimo of 1979 was a durable coin meant for daily use. It circulated heavily, and millions were produced. Yet its cultural and historical value far outweighs its face value. Each coin tells us about the era of Ferdinand Marcos, who was president at the time. The Philippines was under martial law until 1981, and these coins carry with them the weight of a politically charged atmosphere. The 1979 issue holds special significance as part of the transition between older designs and modern ones. Earlier coins focused heavily on symbols of statehood and economic power, but the Flora and Fauna series began a more intimate reflection of the Philippine environment and heritage. This made the 25 centimo more than money. It became a tool for national identity and cultural education. In terms of rarity, while millions were minted, finding one in excellent condition is increasingly difficult today. This adds to its desirability among collectors. The historical timeline of the coin also situates it within the narrative of martial law, the cultural revival of the Philippines, and the desire to promote Filipino identity through everyday objects. For those who inherit such a coin from parents or grandparents, today we dive into the long and fascinating journey of the Philippine 25 centimo coin of 1987, a small denomination that carries within it layers of history, culture, and national identity. This coin may look simple, but its story is anything but ordinary. By the time you finish this video, you'll see how 25 centimo coin minted in 1987 reflects not only the economy of its time but also the broader political and social landscape of the Philippines. The 25 centimo 1987 coin was introduced shortly after one of the most transformative events in Philippine history, the People Power Revolution of 1986, with the fall of Ferdinand Marcos and the rise of Corazon Aquino as the country's first female president. The Philippines entered a new chapter of democracy. This coin, minted under the new government, carried with it the spirit of transition and renewal. On its obverse side, the coin features the portrait of Juan Luna, one of the greatest Filipino painters and patriots. Luna's works, especially his masterpiece, Spoliarium, embodied themes of struggle, sacrifice, and hope for freedom. Having his face engraved on the coin was a powerful choice, connecting everyday courtesy with the cultural pride and revolutionary fervor of the Filipino people. The reverse of the 1987 25 centimo coin bore the seal of the Central Bank of the Philippines, an institution that was tasked with rebuilding economic stability. After years of turbulence under martial law, coins such as these were not only used for small purchases but also symbolized the government's attempts to create a sense of normalcy in a recovering nation. Made from copper nickel, the coin was durable enough for circulation across decades. In 1987, 25 centimo was a meaningful denomination. Jeepney fares, candies, and small market items often involved this coin, making it an everyday necessity for millions of Filipinos. The introduction of this coin also reflected a broader effort to redefine national identity. Gone were the Engi Bagang Lipunan inscriptions that had dominated coins under Marcos. Instead, the new coinage placed emphasis on heroes and symbols of pride that transcended political regimes. The coin's design carried a clean, straightforward aesthetic. Luna's portrait was sharp and dignified, surrounded by inscriptions that highlighted his name and the coin's value. On the reverse, the central bank's seal reinforced trust in the government's ability to stabilize the peso. The year 1987 was crucial for the Philippines. It was the time of rebuilding democratic institutions, writing a new constitution, and setting the direction for the country's future. Thus, every coin minted during this period represented not just monetary exchange but also the people's renewed Hope for democracy. From a collector's standpoint, the 1987 25 Sentimo coin has become a popular item. While not extremely rare due to its mass production, uncirculated versions or coins preserved in mint sets are valued by numismatists because of their historical context. The 1987-5 Sentimo was also part of a wider coin series that included other denominations. Together, they reflected a national effort to restore order in the country's monetary system and to align with the ideals of the new government. For ordinary Filipinos, the 25 Sentimo coin was part of everyday survival. Students, vendors, and commuters alike exchanged these coins countless times a day. They may not have thought of Juan Luna or national politics at that moment, but every transaction carried within it a piece of the nation's story. This coin also reflected the broader economic conditions of the late 1980s. Inflation, rising costs of living, and adjustments in wages all influenced how coins like the 25 Sentimo were used. While its value has eroded today due to inflation, in 1987, it had purchasing power that mattered. The choice of Juan Luna for the coin's design reinforced the role of culture in shaping national identity. By honoring an artist rather than a political leader, the coin reminded Filipinos that creativity and intellectual contributions were as vital as political victories. Collectors today often look for the 1987 25 Sentimo coin not just because of its face value, but because of the story it tells. It serves as a reminder of a time when the Philippines was navigating a delicate balance between its turbulent past and its hopeful future. The coin's durability also speaks volumes. Many of these coins, even after decades of circulation, still retain their design and can be identified clearly. This resilience mirrors the Filipino spirit itself, enduring challenges yet continuing to shine. It is also fascinating to note how small coins like the 25 Sentimo reveal broader narratives about economic history. While bills often attract attention due to their higher values, coins such as this one demonstrate how ordinary people lived and transacted daily. The symbolism of coins cannot be overlooked. In 1987, the government used currency not only as a medium of exchange, but also as a way to strengthen national pride and unity. The choice of Luna's portrait was not accidental. It was a conscious effort to emphasize artistry and patriotism. Even today, when people stumble upon a 1987-5 Sentimo coin in their old drawers or collections, it sparks memories. For older generations, it recalls days of transition and hope. For younger collectors, it is a tangible link to the nation's democratic rebirth. The coin's presence in circulation for many years also reflects its utility. From sari-sari stores to jeepneys, this coin passed through countless hands, each transaction embedding it further into the story of Philippine daily life. Beyond the economic and political aspects, the 1987 coin also carries sentimental value. It is part of family histories kept by grandparents, given as baon to children, or stories reflected the government's campaign for a new society following the declaration of martial law in 1972. Coins and banknotes during this period bore the inscription Ang Bagong Lipunan, the new society, symbolizing a political and cultural shift in the Philippines. Features the portrait of Jose Rizal, the national hero of the Philippines. Rizal was chosen because of his role in inspiring nationalism through his writings and his martyrdom in 1896. The words Republica ng Pilipinas encircled the coin along with the denomination 1 peso. The year of minting 1976 is displayed at the bottom, bears the official seal of the Republic of the Philippines. Around the rim is the inscription Ang Bagong Lipunan as part of Marcos' reformist propaganda. The coin's metallic finish gave it a strong modern appearance compared to earlier peso coins. Copper-nickel cupronickel alloy, giving the coin a silvery appearance. Weight, approximately 14 grams. Diameter 33 millimeters, making it a large-sized coin compared to modern peso coins. This large, heavy coin was considered quite durable, but its size made it inconvenient for daily use, leading to eventual changes in later series. 1976 1 peso coin was produced in large quantities for circulation. It was minted both in the Philippines and sometimes in foreign mints through contracts. These coins circulated widely during the late 1970s and early 1980s, alongside paper bills of the same denomination. 1976 coinage came at a time when the Philippines was under martial law. The inscription, Angi Bagong Lipunan was not just a decorative feature, it was a political statement. Coins and banknotes served as tools of propaganda, reinforcing the idea of unity and reform under Marcos' vision of a new society. 19761. Peso coin is considered collectible, especially in uncirculated, mint state condition. Circulated examples usually have low monetary value, often just a little above face value for collectors. Uncirculated or proof-like specimens can fetch higher prices, especially if preserved without scratches or tarnish. Condition-grade mint state coins are far more valuable. Historical interest collectors of Marshall, Loira coins or Rizal memorabilia value these highly. 1976 1 peso coin stands as a reminder of a transformative period in Philippine history. It connects the legacy of Jose Rizal, who symbolized freedom and reform, with the controversial political era of the 1970s under Marcos. Its large size and bold inscription made it distinctive, and though it was eventually replaced by smaller, lighter coins in later decades, it remains a significant piece for historians and numismatists. In summary, the Philippine 1 peso coin of 1976 is not just a piece of money, it is a historical artifact that reflects the culture, politics, and economic. Before the 1976 release, the Philippine peso or peso had already undergone major transformations. The peso traces its roots back to the Spanish colonial era when the Spanish silver peso piece of 8 was used in Manila trade. After the Americans took control of the Philippines in 1898, the Philippine peso was pegged to the US dollar. Coins issued under U.S. administration bore designs that reflected both Philippine culture and American sovereignty. The time of independence. In 1946, the new Republic of the Philippines began issuing its own coins and banknotes, first under the English series 19511970, and then under the Filipino series 19671974, which emphasized Filipino national heroes and inscriptions in the Filipino language. The 1976 1 peso coin falls under the Angi Bagong Lipunan ABL series 1975-1983, which represented not just currency reform but also political messaging. During martial law, the term Angi Bagong Lipunan, the new society, was introduced by President Ferdinand Marcos after declaring martial law in 1972. It was a slogan meant to project the idea of a reformed and disciplined Philippines free from corruption and instability. The inscription appeared on both coins and banknotes starting in 1975. Thus, the 1976 1 peso was not just an economic tool, it was political propaganda in metallic form. Every Filipino who used it carried a reminder of Marcos' governance and his vision for society. The face of the 1 peso coin bears Dr. Jose Rizal, the national hero of the Philippines. Rizal's writings, particularly Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo, awakened Filipino nationalism during Spanish rule. His execution in 1896 made him a martyr. By featuring Rizal on the 1 peso coin, the government tapped into his universal respect across all political groups. It gave the coin legitimacy and connected the message of new society with the enduring spirit of nationalism. 1976 1 peso coin was among the largest modern Philippine coins in circulation at the time. Its 33 millimeters diameter and 14 grams weight made it heavy in pockets, but also prestigious compared to smaller denominations. It was struck in copper-nickel alloy, chosen for durability and cost efficiency. The reeded edge was both decorative and functional, discouraging coin shaving, a common fraud in earlier centuries, where people filed off bits of precious metal. 1976 The Philippine economy was grappling with the effects of rising global oil prices and foreign debt. Inflation was creeping up, and the peso was gradually losing value. Large coins like the 1 peso reflected an effort to maintain the peso's visibility as a strong unit of currency. However, because the coin was bulky, many Filipinos still preferred the 1 peso coins world. Today we are going to explore the rich and fascinating history of the Philippine 1 Sentimo coin from 1982. At first glance, it might look like just another small piece of change, but when we dive into its story, we discover layers of history, national identity, and cultural significance that make this little coin so much more than money. In this video, we'll peel back those layers and bring out the amazing effects of this humble, yet historical coin. The Philippine 10 Sentimo 1982 belongs to the Flora and Fauna series, which was officially launched in 1983, but saw some initial mintages in the early 1980s. including 1982 issues. This series was revolutionary in the country's numismatic history because it featured both national heroes and native animals and plants. The goal was to reflect not only the Philippines' proud revolutionary past but also its rich biodiversity. On the obverse side of the 1982 10 Sentimo coin, we see the profile of Francisco Baltasar, also known as Francisco Balagtas, is one of the greatest Filipino literary figures. He was a poet whose masterpiece Flora and Fauna remains a classic of Philippine literature. His image on the coin reminds Filipinos of their linguistic and cultural heritage. On the reverse side, the coin proudly displays the Petacophaga, more commonly known as the Philippine eagle, one of the rarest and most powerful birds of prey in the world. By placing the eagle on the coin, the government emphasized the importance of conserving wildlife and gave everyday Filipinos a symbol of power, majesty, and national pride. The 1980 to 10 Sentimo coin was minted in aluminum, which made it very lightweight, just around 0.65 grams. It was small, with a diameter of 17 millimeters, making it one of the tiniest denominations in circulation. Despite its size, it carried enormous symbolic weight. During the early 1980s, the Philippines was undergoing social and political challenges. Under martial law, coins like the 10 Sentimo 1982 reflected not just the economy but also the government's attempt to strengthen national identity. The coin gave people a tangible reminder of their heroes and natural treasures even in the most difficult times. For many Filipinos who lived in that era, the 10 Sentimo coin was part of daily life. It was used for buying candies, snacks at sari-sari stores, or adding up jeepney fares. Its small value did not diminish its importance, especially to school children and those living in rural areas. The decision to honor Francisco Balagtas on this coin was significant. Balagtas symbolized the power of words and ideas in shaping national consciousness, just as his writings once stirred the Filipino spirit during the Spanish colonial era. His portrait on the coin kept his memory alive for a new generation. The Philippine eagle, on the other hand, symbolized strength and hope. By 1982, the eagle was already considered critically endangered, and featuring the 1982 10 and cultural value is recognized in numismatic circles. Uncirculated or mint-condition specimens are often preserved in collections, while circulated pieces carry nostalgia. The coin is also a reminder of how inflation has changed the meaning of money. In the 1980s, 10 centavos had purchasing power. Today, it has almost none, but its memory as a once useful coin makes it a symbol of economic change over the decades. Interestingly, the coin also stands as a bridge between the older coinage of the Philippines and the more modern issues. It carried traditional elements of design but introduced the strong symbolism of nature and heritage that would define Philippine coins for years. For school children in the 1980s, the coin was often their first introduction to national heroes outside of textbooks. Many Filipinos remember their teachers explaining who Francisco Balagtas was. Thanks to this coin, it became an educational tool in its own right. From a numismatic perspective, the 1982 10 Sentimo doesn't have any major known errors, but misstrikes and minting anomalies, when they do appear, are very collectible. Some collectors hunt for off-center strikes or doubled designs, which can command much higher values. The lightweight aluminum composition also meant that these coins wore down quickly in circulation. Finding well-preserved examples today is more challenging, and this adds to their collectible appeal. In 1982, the coin was minted in large quantities to meet circulation needs. Despite its abundance, however, the coin is now harder to find in everyday life because of demonetization. This adds a layer of rarity, not in the sense of numbers, but in terms of availability. In modern circulation, the symbolism of the coin runs deep. Balagtas represents the power of literature and national awakening, while the eagle represents freedom, survival, and the Philippine spirit soaring high despite challenges. Together, they form a dual reminder of intellectual and natural wealth. Over time, as the Flora and Fauna series was replaced, coins like the 10 Sentimo 1982 became cherished relics of the past. They tell us not only about economics but about what the nation valued at that time. Collectors today often include the 10 Sentimo 1982 in complete sets of Flora and Fauna coins. Owning the full set is like holding a miniature museum of Philippine culture, nature, and history in your hands. Online platforms such as eBay often list these coins at modest prices, usually just a few dollars for circulated examples, but more for uncirculated ones. Their real worth, however, lies in their story and their ability to connect people to their heritage. The coin also reminds us of the fragile line between permanence and impermanence. While Balagta's legacy remains eternal in literature, and the eagle still soars in Mindanao, the coin itself has vanished from daily use, existing only in collections and memories.